السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. مرحبا بكم أيها الطلاب الكرام. اليوم سنأخذ الدرس العاشر الجزء الثاني. Today we're going to take lesson 10 part 2. Now we spent a lot of time in the previous lesson explaining ضمائر متصلة and ضمائر منفصلة. And it may seem like a lot, but as you use it little by little and as it's being introduced to you in this class, piece by piece, you will be able to get a better grasp on it. I like to give you guys the full overview first as a generalization, and then little by little you go more in depth. So don't worry if you haven't grasped it yet, and inshallah you will in the coming classes. He said on line number 4, نعم أنا طالب جديد. Yes, I'm a new student. Or actually we got to ما اسمك. ما اسمك. What is your name? Let's identify where is the ضمير متصل. Where is the attached pronoun? اسمك, your name. That ka means your, masculine. Then he says ismi. The word ismun, and then up here we wrote ana, and you're going to attach ya to it. And we said that's used for my, right? We said ana means I, and when you add the ya, it means my. اسمي محمد. ومن هذا الفتى الذي معك. The word fata means like young man or boy. ومن هذا الفتى الذي معك. The word ma'a is brought in, and the word ma'a is a ظرف. It's used as a ظرف zaman and as a ظرف makan. Here it's being used as a makan, right? It's used as an adverb, and here it's using to describe. It simply just means with here. Okay, so how do we say with you? Okay, we said adding this ka is going to mean your, like your book, your this, your house. But when you combine these two together, can you say with your? No, you would say with you. And that's how you would say it, because it's combined together to make ma'aka. This means with you. Ma'aki, still with you. Ma'i, well, this one is there. With me. Ma'i. And here's that dhamir, here's that dhamir. And we'll continue to take it, and it'll be a lot easier, inshallah, as we continue. Next, he said, وَمَنْ هَذَا الْفَتَى. Who's this young man, or who's this boy that is with you? الَّذِي مَعَكَ. Which is with you. All right, remember الَّذِي? هُوَ زَمِيلِي. All right? What's the word zamil? Zamil means classmate. If we add a ya, what happens to the word? It becomes my. Huwa, he is. Zamili, he is my classmate. أهو أيضا من الهند. ما معنى أيضا? أيضا, remember how we took جدا? جدا we said means very. And it just comes that way because we said it has to do with something called المفعول المطلق. And when we get to that part, we'll explain it. That words that just come in that way, ending with fathatain. أيضا is one of those words. هو أيضا, he is also من الهند, or is he also from India? لا هو من اليابان. ما اسمه. ما اسمه هو. 3 parts. ما is what is. Ism is name. And what's who? We wrote it on this side in the previous lesson for huwa and hiya. We said for huwa, to say it is, when you say huwa, it means he. When you say huwa, when you say the hat attached to a word, the hat, I shouldn't say hat, the who attached to the word, it means his. And that's what we're taking here. Ma ismu hu. That who means his. And you got to look at your book and follow along with your book. And that saves us time from always having to rewrite things, because we want to kind of get through as much as we can, inshallah. What is his name? Ismuhu Hamzatu. Ismuhu Hamza. If you look at the word Hamza, or if you first, Ismuhu, his name, Hamza. We didn't say Hamzatun, we said Hamzatu. Because even though it's a masculine name, it ends with that ta marbuta, which resembles the feminine structure of a name. And we said the feminine names that end like that do not accept tanween. So therefore Hamza also does not accept tanween. On the last line, Ma lughatuka ya Muhammad. Ma lughatuka ya Muhammad. What is your name? What is your language? Lugha and ka. Lughatuka. What is your language? Ya Muhammadu. Ya is a harf nida. Right? It comes a lot in the Quran. Ya ayyuha nabiyyu, ya ayyuha alladhina amanu, ya Nuh. A lot of different times you'll see the word ya come in. And we're just going to make it simple, and we're not going to get into the details of it. Ya is a harf nida. It's a letter of calling. That's how you say O, right? Like, that kind of O, when it has an apostrophe. Not o'clock, but like, when you're calling out to somebody. Normally, we write the word Muhammadun with dhammatain. When ya comes in front of it, it takes away one of those harakat. Ya Muhammadu. And that only happens on a singular word. If it is a word made up of two things, it will make the first one fatha and the second one will be kasra. But we're not going to take that now. All you need to know is it gets rid of one of the tanweens. It gets rid of one of the harakat, I should say, not one of the tanweens. All right? Ya Muhammadu. Or it says, Ma lughatuka ya Muhammadu. What is your language, O Muhammad? Lughati, next page, al-Urdiyya. My language, lughati, qalami, bayti, sayyarati, yadi, anfi, aini, udhuni, lihyati, right? Qamisi. You have to take that word and use it multiple times so you don't forget. If you stay saying, for example, all right, ana is a dhamirun munfasil, it's used to say I. And ya is a dhamirun muttasil, it's used to say my. Or sometimes if it's attached to something else, me. And that's how you memorized it. I'll guarantee you're going to forget it. Guaranteed. But if you do it this way, where you now start remembering its usage, you'll remember its meaning. Its usage will help you remember the meaning. So, when you take something like, you want to say my, هذا ابني, ولدي, بنتي, زوجتي, بيتي, طاقيتي, كتابي, غرفتي. You're going to know without having to remember the dhamirun muttasilun ya is used for my. You're just going to know it means my. And that's essentially what you want to get to. That's why you're studying this book, is so that you can figure out its usage and not so much its grammar and rules. You shouldn't try to learn this so that you can become an instructor in Arabic language. You should use it so that you can understand what's happening. Now, we will introduce concepts of grammar and things like that, but ultimately that's not the goal. If you want to have that, first understand the language, then go to specialize in Arabic language so that you can understand it in depth if that's what you want. But for now, your goal should be, what's the quickest results I can get to understanding? أهي لغة سهلة. أهي لغة سهلة. Is it? Hiya. Remember, hiya we said means she. Unless you're talking about a object, then it can mean it. Where's the word that's being changed for it? Lugha. Lugha is feminine. That's why they used hiya. Is it? Is it meaning the language? أهي لغة سهلة. And then he says, نعم هي لغة سهلة. Yes, it is an easy language. وحمزة ما لغته. And Hamza, what is his language? He said, لغته اليابانية. His language is Japanese. وهي لغة صعبة. And it is a difficult language. أين أبوك يا محمد. You see this word now, أبوك, and this will be where we introduce something and end it here. Because what we have is the introduction of something called Al-Asma al-Khamsa, the 5 names. All right? And all we're going to do is focus on 2 of those 5 names now. We have the word Abun, a 2-letter word, and Akhun. All right? If you remember, we said that there are words out there that show they are marfu' not with harakat, but with letters. Okay? So what happens to ab when you want to say your dad? Abun means a dad, akhun means a brother. So I want to attach the kaf. You told us to attach the kaf to the word. Well, there are 5 words that when you attach something to them, something happens. You don't say abuka. What happens is you have to add a waw there. Abuka. And this symbol now is the symbol that it is marfu'. Like over here, if you said the word abun, what's the symbol that it's marfu'? You say the dhammatain al-dhahira, the apparent dhammatain. But when you attached a kaf to this word, you have to bring back this waw that is originally part of the word. You say, what do you mean originally part of the word? Well, they say that all nouns, they're actually 3-letter words. Abawun. Akhun. They say akhawun. Even other words like yed, they say yedayun. But did you notice that it's like a mouthful when you say that, abawun? Isn't it easier to just say over there, abun? Yeah, it's easier to just say abun. Oh, great. Then let's just keep it at abun. But when you decided you're going to attach this to that, the original letter returns. Says, now, if there's somebody else coming in here, I am going to come back. So they come back and they become part of the word if they're attached to something or if they're mudafun to something. All right? And then you'd say, the symbol that it's marfu' is waw. Okay. Why do we say the symbol that it's marfu' is waw? Because the dhamma is still there. Look at this. The dhamma is still there. Why can't we just say that's there? This has a sukoon on it. Haven't you ever read a book of hadith and you've seen in that book of hadith they say, An Abi Hurairah? Yeah, I've seen that. Well, the symbol that it's now majroor in the majroor state, in the kasra state, is not the kasra that is at the ba, it's the ya. And there's times where it says aba. And we will take al-asma al-khamsa in depth, but here is the introduction that when you are adding or attaching something to abun or akhun, you have to bring this waw back, okay? And I'll explain to you later when we add ya and when we add alif. But for now, it is the symbol that it's marfu, and it must come back when you attach something to it. Abuka. And it says, Aina abuka ya Muhammadu. Where is your father, O Muhammad? نكتفي بهذا القدر. And we always say, اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما وإلى اللقاء. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.